Hello everybody, this is Monstertaming coming at you with another Kingdom Fates team review. This is reviewing the last team I've currently been sent at the time of recording. If you want to send your own team for review, please put together one that I have not covered already and send it to me in the description below. You can find a link to my Discord, join there and post your team and feel free to tag me. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, V is basically the only person I've ever seen to use a shovelet consistently with an aloe. Most people look at shovelet and they go, shovelet with an aloe? That doesn't make any sense. But V thought, you know what? Shovelet gets countered by Ember Scorch. I'm going to use aloe on him. And it worked. Now, is it better than Coffee Bean? Probably not, because you have to rely on your team using Ember. But Ember is very common and a very common counter of shovelet. The main thing about shovelet is that you don't want to get a satisfactory shovelet if you can't rest, because it basically forces you into resting and your enemy knows it and then they can try to counter you. But with a aloe on your shovelet, you can tank a hit because you're pretty tanky, and you can tank a hit from Scorch and then force the Ember into an awkward situation where he's now stuck in quicksand. And then you can drop some rock slides on him while he's stuck in the quicksand, and then maybe even dig up to him and stun him, and then start earth swiping him to keep him in the quicksand. Fire spin would maybe be the biggest threat in that situation. But that Ember doesn't expect it. V caught me off guard many a times with his shovelet having aloe. I was like, yep, alright, I got shovelet done and dealt with, because I have Scorch. Now all I have to do is follow him because he's going to be trying to heal, but he's like, nope, my shovelet's not going to get burned by you. Now, it's easy to counter this by just using Caustic Cloud instead, but it is an innovative and brave idea, and I have to give props to that idea. Using Rest without Coffee Bean, once again, very dangerous. I've punished this hard many times, but when you're able to get away with it, then it feels very nice, I'm sure. And the dig, rock slide, quicksand, earth swipes, all of them are pretty standard. You have your everyday average Ember here, nothing special to see, keep moving along. And then we have a Mechid with Rations. You have I think this must be an old Mechid, because that you have Thrash instead of like Reflect. It's probably an older team. So you have Rations, Iron Fist, Mecha Strike, Rush, Rage, and Thrash. Now Thrash is trash. Everybody knows this, but it can have its very, very specific, very, very niche use of hitting people through walls on ruins. There are times when you will run behind a wall, your enemy will be chasing you, you know they're going to be coming, you can pop Thrash and then punch them through a wall. And that's kind of funny and interesting to do. Otherwise, your biggest source of damage is probably going to be an Iron Fist into either a Rage or a Mecha Strike, depending on your situation. Rage can also help you become a DPS machine. The Rations can help keep you alive a little bit longer on Mechid, but I would prefer using something like Antidote and then giving the Rations to Skulkin. Already went on a little bit of a rant last time about Rations on Skulkin on a couple episodes back. If you want to hear that, you can watch that episode. I don't want to, go on it again and just go off and repeat myself. Skulkin, once again, I prefer Crystal Strike over Volley. Startle is amazing. Homing Blast and Caustic Cloud are both great, and Teleport gives you unparalleled movement at the cost of a long cooldown. So this team is a very normal team, except you have Thrash on Mechid, which doesn't normally happen, but can give you some special plays on Ruins, specifically on specific parts of Ruins, so it's not completely useless. And then the star of the show is Shovelet with Aloe, which is going to give you that surprise factor against your enemy's Ember. To comment on the squishiness, damage, etc. of this team, I think the damage is great. You have an Ember who's going to do a lot of damage, you have a Skulkin who's going to do a lot of damage, and you have a Mechid with high potential for damage as well. The Shovelet catching people off guard with that Aloe also has the chance to really, really hurt an Ember before they even know it hits them, especially if you see your opponent switch straight into Ember, then you can rush them with Shovelet and then force them to take damage while the swap is on cooldown. For its survivability, you have an Ember with the Peach, you have to see it. I'm Mechid with Rations. I prefer Skulkin with Rations, but Mechid with Rations is definitely better than Avion with Rations because Rush can still help you get away and you have a lot of health and defense, so a lot more than Skulkin. Which means you can play around it. You're just not going to be able to really hurt them while you do this. Thrash can actually come in handy here because you can punch them through a wall on ruins, and if they try to follow you, you do a little teeny bit of chip damage while getting your heals off. Obviously, you have Rest on Shovelet, which is the best healing ability in the game. The only problem with it is without a coffee bean, you're going to be left a little bit vulnerable. So you got to think a lot more strategically with how you use your dig and your rest. Overall, I think this is a very well-rounded team, and there's not a lot to complain about on it. But that rounds up the last of this team and the last of the team submitted. Like I said, if you wish to submit your own team, please join my Discord in the description below. Until next time, this is my Monstertaming Bisloba, signing off. Hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye, God bless, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.